It's Sunday. I have nothing better to do. So I'm going to keep making videos. This is for you, Amanda. So, I get dinged on, you know, for not following mainstream media or referencing news articles that don't come from mainstream media, i.e., to the general, the general population of America. That means not good enough, I guess. I want to really keep this in layman's terms here. Not factual enough. You can't go off of the Drudge Report. What? You can't do that. You can't go off of Breitbart.com. They have points to prove. Yes, they have points to prove. I completely agree. I want you to find me a news outlet that doesn't have a point to prove. You're not really going to find one. So that's why I go to multiple sources, including the mainstream media. But here's one for you that I would like anybody to tell me is not a credible news agency. The New York Times. Anybody want to tell me they're not credible? I'm gonna move this here so I can read this. Holy crap! Yes, I sneeze without covering my fucking mouth because I think covering your mouth is disgusting unless you immediately go fucking wash your hands. Personal opinion, fucking deal with it. Alright, look. Terrorist plots hatched by the FBI. This is on the New York Times. Alright, United States has been narrowly saved from lethal terrorist plots in recent years. Or so it has seemed. A would-be suicide bomber was intercepted on his way to the Capitol. A scheme to bomb synagogues and shoot Stinger missiles at military aircraft was developed by men in Newburgh, New York. And a fanciful idea to fly explosive-laden model planes into the Pentagon and the Capitol was hatched in Massachusetts. But all these dramas were facilitated by the FBI, whose undercover agents and informers posed as terrorists, offering a dummy missile, fake C4 explosives, a disarmed suicide vest, and rudimentary training. Suspects naively, whatever, I'll say it how I want to, played their parts until they were arrested. Alright, it goes into some very specific stuff, okay? But this is just what we know about, okay? This is just what the FBI has released because they had to. It's kind of like, it's that whole thing. If somebody has an idea of doing something evil or wrong, against the law, and they don't have a way or a means of carrying that out by themselves, a cop or a government agency or whoever, law enforcement, undercover, can offer this stuff, and then expose you and arrest you because you went ahead and did it. I'm not so much against that. I'm more so against what happens because of it. And again, if you saw my earlier video, millions of thoughts. I'm going to try and slow myself down and stick to specific things here. Okay. It's entrapment. If you don't know what the term is, I suggest looking it up. The legal term of entrapment. To go off of something probably everybody has seen, the To Catch a Predator things that you saw on TV. Was it Brian Wallace or whatever his name was? The percentage of people that actually got prosecuted from those investigative reports is little to none. Like, seriously, I want to say, again, I have no facts in front of me to back this up. I'm going off memory. I think maybe like 2 guys were prosecuted. And what they were prosecuted for wasn't anywhere near as bad as what they should have been prosecuted for. Because it was entrapment. Because they didn't do anything. It's kind of like that whole Minority Report deal. They haven't committed the crime, but you're going to go ahead and assume and infer that they were going to. So we'll arrest you and take you to court. Now what's happening here specifically? So let's get back to this article. Is that the FBI went the extra mile and basically made it possible for these people to commit these crimes, to go all the way up to the point of even one of punching in the code to set the bomb off, but they were fake bombs, so they didn't, and then the guy's arrested. Two problems with this. One, if I'm by myself and I say, I want to go do this, okay, well maybe this isn't as big a deal as when somebody comes up to me and says, hey, I've got a way for you to do this, this, and this. 10 times worse than what you were thinking. Do you want to do it? Is that what happened? I don't know. I haven't seen transcripts. I don't know. But giving somebody greater ideas than maybe they had on their own is wrong. You're arresting somebody for following an idea that you gave them. Now, is it still wrong? Should they still not have done it? Completely agree. Of course. But you, as a law enforcement official, gave them the means and maybe even the ideas. So that's a huge gray area for me. The bigger part, the flip of this coin, the bigger problem I have with this is that if this information isn't given to the American people right away, then we're going to be afraid of terrorists. We're already afraid of terrorists. I mean, you talk to anybody, yeah, I'm afraid of terrorists. But we're ramping it up to something more than it is on its own. Do you guys understand the point I'm trying to make? And because of that, all of these new laws get put into effect, and we give our law enforcement a wider arcing area of stuff that they can do and powers that they have without maybe having to go through a judge to get warrants and to do this and to do that, that they had to do, back before 9/11, back before terrorists. Yeah, we had OK City and tons of stuff without getting into the conspiracy theorist aspects of those other things. But this is, we're making it seem like it's bigger than it really is. Somebody having an idea and then actually following through and having the means to follow through with that idea are two completely separate things, even in the eye of the law. Completely separate. I can say, I would like to go skydiving someday. I don't have the means to do that. I'm going to have to go pay somebody. I know it's a fucking horrible analogy, but hopefully you get my point. I'm just saying it. I may never have the means to follow through with it on my own. I may be homeless. I may never get a paycheck, and I may never be able to afford to go skydiving. So me saying, I'm going to go skydiving someday, means absolutely nothing. It's something that I'd like to do, if given the opportunity. And then if somebody walks up to me and says, hey, I'm going to give you this ticket to go skydiving for free, here you go. And then I go, because I was given the opportunity, I was afforded the chance to be able to do it. Or I'm going to give you this airplane, and I'm going to give you this parachute, and here you go. That would probably be a better analogy. So I have a big problem because it ramps up the fear. It escalates the fear that the population has of homegrown terrorists or of terrorists coming into the U.S. and committing acts of violence. And I have a huge problem with that. I think this gray area needs to be looked into. We could get into Fast and Furious and selling weapons. Look into the grenades. Selling grenades. We've got law enforcement officials selling this shit. And it comes back to bite us in the ass because guess what? They use those weapons to kill people. if you guys don't have a problem with this, I don't know what to say. You know, this is huge stuff. And again, I'll state, that's the New York Times. That's not the Drudge Report. It's not Alex Jones. It's the New York Times. Rant over.